Right, I will get started.
Okay.
Well, thank you everyone for coming. And my name is Yufei Chen. My teammates and I are going to represent the green logistics solution for Schneider Electronic China. Well, our contents are separated into different parts. The next page shows our solution, analyze. Our solution separated into three parts. The first will be the adjustment on the green transportation mode, and following the introduction of green fleet and enhancements on the green management platform. And the following content will be the carbon reduction impact and the feasibility and cost analyzed corresponding to different solutions. And we also design a rough timeline for our whole solution. The next page is the first solution we designed, which is the adjustment on the transportation mode. Based on Schneider Electronic China's shipment features, we designed three patterns. The first will be for the short distance, which is shorter than 400 kilometers. This kind of intercity shipments is based on the collaboration with different third-party logistics, such as Jingdong Logistics, which is one of the leaders in the industry. And we prioritized those suppliers with higher electronic vehicle rate or who utilize the vehicle more frequently than others. And the cooperation will be based on the truckload conduction, which can ensure a supplier provide the best practice when they realize, they'll help us realize the load planning and tracking and tracing system to ensure the on-time data sharing and analyze. The second pattern is for the longer distance, which is longer than 400 kilometers. This kind of shipment takes around nearly 40% of among all the shipments in Schneider Electronic China. Well, for this kind of pattern, we choose to collaborate with operators who provide intermodal transportation. And it starts with using vehicles to finish the first mile delivery to the railway station, and following the long distance railway transportation, and the last mile could be delivered through electronic vehicles. And this kind of pattern is based on the container loads. In this way, we can ensure the door-to-door service, which also remain the cost and also ensure the service quality. The third pattern is for the small parcel shipments. This is mainly for the next page is mainly for the business to customer delivery. And we choose to utilize urban freight platforms like Huolala or any parcel delivery service provider, just like Cainiao. And on the right pictures, it shows different kind of methods for delivering those parcels. As you can see, those company conducts small or medium trucks or electronic vehicles, even vans or machines, such as the first picture on the right. It is a small delivery machine. It consumes no diesel at all. So this pattern ensures the high coverage of delivery among thousands of city pairs. And the next page is the second solution, which is the introduction of Green Fleet. My teammates going to have an introduction of this solution.
And okay, our second solution is called Green Fleet. So what does it mean? That is to say, by managing the suppliers, we want to make the fleet's energy structure become greener. And to achieve this, we have designed a green evaluation system and the green index for the Schneider. And this can be used both in the green supplier approval process and the green supplier performance evaluation. And we also consider Schneider's interactions with the suppliers. So we suggested that Schneider's should, for example, develop some carbon reduction guiding maps for the supplier. So you see, our solution basically runs through the entire supplier management process. And here is our green evaluation system we designed. And in addition to the general indicators like the quality, services, the price, the cost, we just specifically pay attention to the supplier's green performance. And we give them a relatively high weight, which is 25%, so that we hope the suppliers will attach greater importance to the green aspect. And to be more specific, we also designed a detailed green index and scoring system. And as you can see here, if we want to, for example, if we want to check if they have a green strategy, and let's just click this link. And we can see, we can go to see if they have a well-defined development strategy, a clear goal, that kind of thing. Then we can assign them a score. And among this, we regard the green fleet management as one of the most important index because it's most closely related to the fleet energy structure. And to measure it, we just want to check the EV rates of the fleets. We want to see if they reach the industrial level or if the rates grow year by year. So as you can see here, it's our an example of the green index EV percentage. And when we're selecting suppliers, we suggest the suppliers' fleets should reach an EV rate of 15%. And when we are assessing their performance later, we hope their EV rates should have an annual growth rate over 20%. And actually, we calculated these results very carefully based on the current data, as you can see on the right. And apart from this, we also provide some potential approved vendor list, like Jingdong Logistic and Shunfeng Express, because they are both excellent in the logistic business and also doing great job in the green and low carbon fields. And lastly, as we move forward with management, we need to come up with some mechanism not to lax and not to strict. And we would like to draw up something like a guiding maps for our suppliers. Because they differ in the emission levels, the scopes, and the stages. The key from our perspective is to categorize the suppliers based on the factors like the carbon emission, the carbon emissions and the carbon tracking maturity score. And as you can see on this chart we designed. Hence, we can make customized carbon reduction roadmaps for them. And in this way, when Schneider's interacts with the suppliers, they will know which ones are more crucial, and then they can adapt different interaction strategies tailored to the unique requirements. And we believe this approach will help to maintain effective and green collaborations with our suppliers. And our third solution is about green management platform. And let's welcome Chen Yang to introduce it to us.
Actually, this is an information system platform empowered by digital technology, which enables internal information sharing and communication. It also can be used to manage third-party logistic companies. Our plan aims to enhance and improve the platform in the following three aspects. The first is shipment information, digitalization, and sharing. Schneider collaborates and shares the same database with all suppliers, and which facilitates the immediate sorting, dispatch, and transport of goods. It's not only reduce intermediary procedures, but also contributes to our commitment towards sustainability through paperless operation. And the second is integration and the sharing of logistic information. Schneider is able to facilitate the coordination of cargo transport within a specific geography area, further optimizing transport routes and increasing load factors. The third is to visualize the overall carbon emission data of the supply chain. This is a green carbon reduction module that we want to add to our existing information platform. They could use the digital platform to track a carbon footprint, to analyze carbon reduction effect and dual life cycle assessment design. And we believe supply chain management really need empowerment of digital technologies. By applying them, it become possible to achieve intelligent energy control and enhance the efficiency of green management. And that's pretty much about our solution. Next, will my teammate Sally to introduce the next part. Thank you.
Okay, that was the introduction of the green logistics solution. I am going to take over from here and present our carbon emission effects and feasibility analysis. For the carbon reduction, we mainly have two options. First is the option to change the road transportation to the rail transportation, and next is to change the power of diesel to the electricity. So obviously you can see the results after our calculation. We found that there is about 75% of carbon reduction if we take the first option, and there is 45% of carbon reduction if we take the second option. And however, we still have a problem, that is whether our solution can have a feasibility in practical condition. So next, let's show the feasibility analysis.
Yes.
Okay, for the feasibility analysis, firstly is legality and policy. We can see there is still an exemption of vehicle purchase tax from 2024 to 2025. And we also have an improvement in charge infrastructure under the support policy. And then for the green visions, both the SD itself and their suppliers want to have a target of carbon reduction. So, and next for the EV market, as we know, apart from the green factor, we also consider the economic factor. So we know there is higher prices of gasoline and diesel, and we also know the lower gross prices of EV. And we also have a variety of new energy trucks and innovation on power battery and established supporting technology for us. And finally, for the cost, we divided it into two parts: the green transportation and the green technology. For the transportation, we introduced the intermodal in transportation, and we have a 40% of cost reduction. And for introduce of the EV, we have a 38% of cost reduction. And we also want to improve the load capacity to increase our efficiency and decrease some cost. Okay, for the technology, we want to introduce the routine planning and the paperless exchange system to also increase our efficiency. Okay, for the next cost analysis, let's see this page. Okay.
Okay, thank you, Sally. I'm going to take over from here based on what she mentioned. So the last part of cost advantage, I'm going to have a brief introduction. So we took the Shanghai and Wuhan Logistics Center as an example. The calculation shows if we conduct the intermodal transportation, one of the possible routes one might conduct around less than 10% of road transport, and you combined with nearly 90% of rail transport. This combination shows the cost reduction can reach around 40%, but it might change. It depends on the actual route and actual vehicle the suppliers actually conduct. And except for that, the second part of the percentage increase of electronic vehicle, even though the purchase cost of electronic vehicle might be a little bit high, but the upcoming transport cost varies compared with the diesel-driven vehicles. It is mainly caused by the energy cost, because the electronic consumption will be around 38% less of consumption compared to the diesel-driven one, and final cost reduction could reach around 38%. And based on the third solution, the introduction enhancement of the platform, adding more models to the existing platform can only cost low margin costs, and co-leasing platform with our suppliers will achieve a shared cost effects. The next page is the. Can you show me the next page? Thank
Your
you.
time's
It's the
about up,
principle
Anika,
we deliver here. It is based on the plan, do, check action. And the next page is our timeline. And that's basically everything we have here. Thank you.
Okay, yeah, your time is up. So, okay, thank you very much for that presentation. Stop the sharing, and we're going to get into the question and answers period. I'll just start with some questions, and then perhaps some of the other judges will then join me with some other things.
Thank you.
On your supplier evaluation platform, where you're collecting data about your supplier performance, my question is, where do you plan to get the data from, as far as their supplier's carbon footprint? Are you depending on them to voluntarily report these, or do you have some way of collecting this type of data?
From our perspective, we think the main way to get this data is to let them provide this data to us, and we have to, just like a kind of cooperation. And so we have to ask them to provide this data for us, because it will help for us to make some cooperation, that kind of thing. But also, there are some other ways for us to get this data from, like the well-known reports that the released every year, that kind of thing. And so basically there are two ways. And first way is to let them provide some relatively private data to us. And secondly is to find the data in some open sources. Yeah.
Okay, so you're I mean, it's good that you're working on a collaboratively method with your suppliers, but you have no way of verifying whether the information they're giving you is correct, because that is actually one of the issues that we're having right now in a lot of these ESP reporting we call greenwashing, where everybody is reporting very good numbers, but you have no way of verifying whether that's actually true or not. So you give any thought to how you do be able to verify your supplier's performance? Because I'm a supplier, obviously I'm going to give you very good data because I want to get your business. So how will you verify that I'm actually doing what I say I'm doing, and those are numbers I'm reporting are real?
That's a really tricky question. And
Can I take over
yeah,
from here? Yeah,
yeah.
thank you. So based on the introduction, we mentioned for the green logistic information platform we mentioned, we also propose to co-leasing a third party information system. And I'm pretty sure the current method of the suppliers tracking data depends on the device provided by third party. And since we're trying to identify the key suppliers and trying to form a long-term relationship with them, I think this kind of co-leasing partnership will ensure us to ensure the quality of data we are trying to gather, because this is not only a one-to-one collaboration between one supplier, it's gonna be a whole group cooperation. Verifying data among different suppliers will be one of the methods we can conduct, and also work with information platform provider, which is there's a third party who doesn't involve any benefits with them. It's a second kind of a security method for in the future to collect the right data and verify the quality of them. Okay,
thank you. My second question is about your intermodal transport. That you picked either truck or rail. Have you considered waterway? Why did you only select rail as an alternative transport mode?
We also consider Schneider Electronic China has a promise on 7 days of delivery, because railway transport is already relatively slower than the road transport. And especially the current price-friendly railway, with also based on the well-developed railway network. This kind of options already have delays on the delivery. If we choose water, it's gonna conduct more option, more complexity to the solution, and it's kind of not add up the hardness, and doesn't relatively provide the cost-effective service we're looking for.
Well, because if you looked at the Schneider's map, in a sense, they have a number of distribution centers within China. So within any of those distribution centers to your customer, I'm assuming, it doesn't take 7 days to get there, right? So, but you're assuming that you would ship from when your customer orders. I guess my question is, why would you not kind of look at some way of positioning your inventory where you would need the product to ship to your customer? So what we consider the mid-mile, you would have a lot more flexibility as far as time. You don't need to ship, so you need to be able to put them closer to where your customers are and be able to fulfill them quickly that way, using more environmentally friendly modes instead of just sending out something when it's ordered and by either truck or air, or if it's a really rush. Have you thought about the different parts, not just directly, when I ship, when I order? Is there an inventory management strategy?
Well, we're considering the potential high inventory holding cost, and also from the carbon emission aspects, clearly most of the railway transport we choose is driven by electricity consumption. But currently for the water transport, they will relies on the diesel driven in some kind of aspects. From the environmental friendly aspect, we prefer to choose railway instead of water. And also, but setting up the inventory, a certain level of inventory, since Schneider Electronic China doesn't have their own fleet and the warehouse doesn't have their own fleets, it kind of adds a more burden and workload for based on the current situation. If we need to consider the allocation of current human resources, if we can manage enough suppliers to conduct provide a certain level of service for us, I think it's not necessary to add up more resources to hire more personnel. There's also potential cost in this aspect, right? But yes, that's a good point. If we have more opportunity to further strengthen our solution, I might consider on this aspect, but I might need more information about the current shipment patterns, exact numbers, exact rows, and also how many people are having the logistic teams and everything.
Okay. Well, you brought up an interesting, important part of this, or any case, is cost.
Yes.
Okay. So based on your system, what is the impact on the cost of the system in implementing this, and why would all your suppliers and customers want to be part of this? Because it is a pretty large investment to develop this platform. What is it going to cost, and what's the cost savings?
Do you want to add up here? Okay. Well, based on our research, we know we realized Schneider Electric China already have already conducting digital platform. It is not gonna start from the scratch. What we have in mind is to add up different functions, more functions, and we could utilize the data sharing among different suppliers. Of course, it needs some time and resources to invest in, but it's not start from the beginning. And also, the whole industry among the whole world is conducting a net zero emission. So it is definitely a necessary investment for not only Schneider China, but Schneider Electric China, but also the whole industry. And also we mentioned the co-leasing platform with suppliers. So it is not going to be one or two vendors. There will be a bunch of vendor pool. And by conducting this kind of new combination of different transportation modes, it would definitely a fantastic opportunity for them to reduce cost. And to reach this, it could be a win-win situation. It can help them to improve their accuracy on logistic forecasting, but also can help us to gather data it could not only use for tracking the carbon emission, but also further optimize the transportation road, the inventory management, and everything, as long as it helps to reduce the emission, the cost, and the time consumed in all the shipments.
Okay, that's great. Okay, I'm just want to check with the other judges. Any questions? Any other questions for the students? Okay, it doesn't seem to be any other questions. So that's about the time we have for question and answers. Thank you very much for the presentation and best of luck.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much
Thank you
for
very
inviting
much.
us here.
Bye-bye.
Such an honor to
Good
do
luck.
the presentation in front of you guys. Oh, yes, Dr. Daniela.
No, I would like to thank you all for an interesting presentation and wish you a good luck indeed.
Thank you so
Thank-
much.
Thank you.
Thank you so
It's a
much.
fantastic learning opportunity for us.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.